Hello and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be taking a look at F1 Career Challenge, a game that takes place, across 4 seasons of Formula 1. Starts in 1999 and goes up to, I believe, the 2002 season. So there are kind of 4 generations, and I don't know how much the car's changed over this era, but certainly the teams and drivers and so on would have changed around. It's an interesting era, sort of the era that I started remembering growing up. I would have been about 8 during this particular season. So yeah, I gotta have some memories of the cars and watching these teams go racing. Now I've done the tutorial bit, I guess, for this to get a super license so I can go and race. So I have to a brief bit of practice with the game. I know I'd never played this one up until now. I've kind of heard of this game, but yeah, I never played it as a child. I do remember some old Formula 1 games. We are expected, that is an old style phone right there. I expected to finish around 16th place. That's probably, that's probably where we're going to see my car. I'm driving for Benetton in this. I had a choice of, it was Benetton, Prost Grand Prix, or Sauber, I think it was, back when they were sponsored by Red Bull. So yeah, it's the 99 Australian Grand Prix. We are going to, I have done a practice. I had to restart my career because I accidentally backed out of something and then screwed it all up. So I have done practice around this circuit. We're going to jump into qualifying. How well, I don't know. There isn't really a difficulty I can set when it comes to the career mode, so I don't know whether we're going to be against easy AIs, difficult. I just don't know how it's going to go. There is some modicum of car setup that we can do. I'm thinking we will go for grip. I would rather have understeer a little bit than oversteer, and I would rather have some more grip. So there we go. That should work for me. This is just utter guesswork. This is also the era of cars with assists, I believe, things like traction control and so on, which, as far as I can tell, I can't turn off. And if there is a way to turn them off, I don't quite know how to. The options for this game are not the easiest thing to navigate, and there's not much that I can that I seem to be able to do with stuff. Also, there is a weird motion blur when it comes to the cornering like that. I tried desperately to find a way to turn it off, but alas, I could not. It's an old game. It's an old game, this one. I am playing this on the original Xbox. My controller for it isn't the greatest controller in existence. Basically, there's a lot of things in this that aren't quite making it as easy as it could possibly be. That being said, I am going to stop making racing driver excuses and try and do as, as well as I can. Now, this circuit, Melbourne, I do know relatively well. It's one of my preferred venues for racing a Formula 1 car, certainly on the F1 games. It's a shame it's not in more games, but I guess the only time it's used is with Formula 1 or on that Formula 1 weekend. So, yeah, I quite like the circuit. Braking points are, well, a little different on here than perhaps I am used to, but on the whole, the circuit layout apparently not really changed that much. Oh, this is a horrible corner to try and get right. While there is, on the most part, assists with the car, you've got to be very, very careful with steering and braking. It's quite easy to lock the rears and spin the car. Apparently, that was a thing. So there we go. Now things are going to go and happen. A 29.0 isn't too shabby. I think the fastest laps I've done are in the 28s around here. As I say, the fastest laps I've done, I've only been doing little bits. Right, shall we go? Continue. I guess we can go and do another flying lap then. I think we have up to 12 laps that we can do, perhaps, in a qualifying session. Oh, there's none of the old Q1s and Q2, or I say the new Q1s and 2s and 3s and so on. This is, it might actually be the time limit that will probably get us. Yeah, a set amount of time. That lap there is completely gone with the crash into turn 1. At least if we screw it up that early, I say we don't waste as much time. Yeah, I guess we don't waste as much time. That was a better first corner. I don't know where the AIs are around. I imagine, looking at the map, I think I saw a red arrow behind us that would suggest that you might run into potential traffic. around the lap. Now, the thing that I do have kind of high hopes for this game is mechanical damage, engine faults and that sort of thing, as something that modern games really don't want to tackle. Modern games are terrified of tackling mechanical damage. Now, I remember plenty of old Formula 1 games. I say plenty. Oh, where have we gone over there? We're shortcutting the circuit. It's fine. Nobody will tell us off. That's poor driving by me. But I do remember old Formula 1 games in which, gearboxes could fail. You could get various mechanical failures through no fault of your own. Just bits on the car would expire. Nowadays, games refuse to go down that route. While you do have mechanical failures in F1 2017, that's all more related to wear and so on. Admittedly, to an extent, modern cars are more reliable than they once were, so in some ways it makes sense, but yeah, still, games are very, very terrified of ever possibly having random mechanical faults in it. Modern ones. Some of these older ones, I know, are more prone, more possible. I'm not going to be running a 23s. How the hell am I supposed to beat these guys? We are going to be down the back. I mean, I'll be able to race. I mean, the Benettons aren't exactly massively fast in this era. Fisichella's 2 seconds down on the top guys. I'm just got to find 2 seconds. This might not go quite so well for me here. I'm going to be honest with you. 16th place is going to be a tall order, unless there is a crash or mechanical failures. Now, that's very possible, especially with my driving around here. It's quite likely I will cause an incident with at least some cars involved. Where are we going over there? Come on now. Yeah, I don't think my fastest is going to be particularly quick enough in all of this, but let's see what we can do. We're 1.5 seconds down on Häkkinen's McLaren in a single sector, so we're going to have to be a lot braver. Oh, later on, that was a terrible... that was kind of a panic braking going on there with that corner. Now, I know we can be flat out on the way in here. We can go and chuck the car in flat out through there, through the next part. That's better. It's the best I've gone through there, despite kind of wobbling my way around the circuit slightly. How late dare I be on the brakes down here? Oh, God. Please make it around the corner. This is desperately holding on to the car now. I've got very little confidence in the vehicle, but I'm giving it everything we've got. Slow down. I've ballsed up this corner a little bit. We braked too early. We turned in too early. We got away with running across the grass slightly. Yeah, just about made it around the final corner. It's a messy, messy lap. Well, I say it's a messy lap. I think it is going to be the quickest I've done. Is it going to be enough to move me off the back of the field? I somehow don't think so. Oh, it is! Hey, I'm not at the back! We're ahead of some arrows and some Minardis and some bars. I like the look of that. I mean, we're not up with Häkkinen and Coulthard and Irvine and Schumacher and so on, but we are on the second page. We're in that 16th place. Now, I don't know if I click retire from session. If that... I'm hoping that just leaves my time as it is. Yes. Okay, I was hoping that would go through the next page. Don't quite know what's going to have happened in all of that, but let's go and give it give it a try. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we can finish. I mean, finishing the race is probably going to be challenging. So yeah, Häkkinen from Irvine, from Coulthard, from, I would imagine, Schumacher. Half a second back to Schumacher. That's a fair gap. There's a couple of Jordans in this one. Hill and Frentzen. And then we have got a couple of the Stewart cars. I remember those, the Fords. Well, the Ford-sponsored ones. And then we have the Williams, with a livery I don't remember, on that. Then we have, I think, a Sauber. Yes, the Sauber of Jean Lacey. We have... Trulli's in here with the Prost. That looks like the other Benetton of Fisichella. Panis is in a Prost. Then we've got the other one of the Saubers. My Benetton is not at the back, so it did keep the keep the qualifying time and 3 seconds down. We've got again, I don't remember that livery on the bar Hondas. We've got a Minardi, followed by Villeneuve in another one of the bars, Minardis, and the 2 Arrows all the way at the back, with the best liveries of Formula 1 cars. Unfortunately, this weren't particularly good Formula 1 cars. Most team, a lot of teams that are no longer with us, but there we go. We couldn't show that possibly in a modern Formula 1 game anymore. Right, let us go racing. Hold on and hope that we don't spin the wheels. There is some sort of traction control, but you've also got to be a bit careful with the launch because, well, I didn't put enough power down. If you put too much power down, you do well. I didn't put enough power down, and then I put down too much power and made a real mess of it. So there we go. We're going to sneak our way. Oh, there was a little bit of panicking from a lot of different cars, actually. I don't know what on earth is going on here. Oh, God. What has happened? I'm not sure what's gone on. Things have got... there's not even a restart. Things have gone very, very weird, and I'm not 100% sure what... The AI's just freaked out massively coming into the first corner. Are we still under yellow flags? Have we gone back to normal racing? I think we've gone back to normal racing again. There was some weirdness from all the AI cars into turn 1, and I just didn't know what was happening. I don't know what's going on with the little symbols down by the side. Okay, thank you for letting me know. With slightly banged wheels. I don't know what the things that are flashing and appearing on the side of the screen actually mean in any way, shape or form, but we have made up a couple of positions, so let's try and make some progress forward. Is this me having to do stuff? It's very weird, or is it because I jumped off the... I don't know. Oh, I think that's like timing us through some checkpoint splits or something. There's a lot of information suddenly being thrown at me, and I don't understand what any of it means. We're going to go for a big dive. That was a very, very big lunge. We're going to make it work, though. Haha! That was a proper overtake. There was a proper overtake that didn't involve bouncing a car off or a AI falling off the road on its own. So we're back up into 18th place, despite the shenanigans at turn 1. I think somebody's in the pits. We might have to pit. Oh yeah, I think we have to pit during the 6-lap race. Now the pits are interesting. The pit stops are interesting on here. They're kind of, I say a quick time event. A quick time event would be very incorrect, but they require you to do certain things that are very, very easy to cock up and then end up with a lot of time lost. Like if you go to accelerate too soon out of your pit stall, you will stall the engine, and that takes like 10 seconds to get the car back fired up again, which is an eternity in a Formula 1 race, although I'm probably going to be a fair way down on any cars, with potentials for overtaking them, so it probably won't make too much difference to my rate. Having said that, I think we are actually catching up to De La Rosa there. Again, I don't know quite why it's that this sector they seem to be timing for us, seeing if we're going faster or what's happening. Oh, I've ballsed up that corner massively. I had to have a big slowdown through the middle of all of that, but we've come out the other side. We're in one piece. I think Coulthard's behind us, but a fair way back, so we're not going to worry about that McLaren just yet. It'll probably catch us and go soaring past. Thank you for just popping, just showing the name down in the bottom corner. There's a delightful 90s sort of TV vibe going on with the UI in all of this. There's a little bit of a touch on the grass. That's fine. That's fine. We're ahead of Schumacher. We're ahead of Hakkinen as well. It's only because of pit stops, but you know what? I will take it for now. Come on. We can get another good overtake. De La Rosa is next. Get the slipstream. Get the big slipstream. Get the big toe. I don't know if I'm going to be close enough here to do anything. I'm not going to risk it. Not quite got the braking sorted out on these cars, and now we've gone for a little bit of an explore, and that's probably not going to help our cause. Now we have got a McLaren behind us. I think maybe we dive in the pits this time around. I don't know if the guy's going to tell me if I need to dive in the pits or not, but I think it's probably going to be a wise idea. Oh, that was a nice run through there. We've got a lot of run on De La Rosa. We will get that place, thank you very much, and then we will try and break down into the second of these chicanes. There is a look behind button. That wasn't it. just pressing buttons now. I probably shouldn't, because something might be the, well, I don't know, something might be a bad button, basically, so it's probably not wise. I did have look behind working before. Oh, it's definitely not A. Is it Y? Y is look behind. There we go. Thinking, making stuff up on the fly as we go in this is probably not the cleverest idea, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, we get around there faster. We can actually carry a lot more speed through these corners than I am expecting. Oh, let's go for a pit then. Let's go in for the pit stop. Right, so we've got to break the car down to the required speed. We've just got underneath the speed limit there, which is good. Now it'll run its way through here. I have no control of the car at this stage. We'll then have to break down to 12. Oh, well, I braked a little bit early perhaps there. Oh, I didn't quite do the turn right. Oh, there are ghosty cars. Ghosty cars, that's fine. Ghosty cars are fine. There'll be a gear up thing at some point. Gear up. And then there will be an accelerate. They've got to be really careful not to fire it too soon. Come on, drop us down, drop us down, drop us down. There we go. So we didn't quite get the turn in. We lost a little bit of time in that because I was slow on the turn. It is a very, very brief window you got with that one. So that's something. Oh, has De La Rosa beaten us in the pit stops? God damn it, that's not what we want. Whoa! De La Rosa has just spun in front of us. Come on, get going again. I don't think damage is turned on in all of this. I don't. What was he doing? Did he have like a puncture or something coming out? He was just going along and then immediately spun in front of me. Maybe they had a loose wheel or something. I don't know. He was very, very slow coming out of that pit box. Very slow indeed. We are now, I say jumping, we're being aggressive with curbs, and I've got 2 laps to try and make up like 8 seconds, which is probably not going to happen. Oh, not going to happen if we keep doing that. Foot down, just get across the grass. Well, this has been an interesting trip down memory lane in terms of Formula 1 names and teams and so on. In terms of driving physics aren't terrible on here. Now, don't get me wrong, the driving physics aren't terrible. It is like a lot of these older games. That one there was a big bottoming out moment across the curve. Yeah, like a lot of these old games, the cars have got just absurdo levels of grip, and trying to rewire your brain to be used to that is not the easiest thing. There is certainly some detail in all of this. Oh, come on, we might actually do better than... We might get the kind of targeted 16th place, because there were cars in the pit lane for us to pick up places up. Oh, I forgot I knocked out the braking board down there. In the last time around, you know, where there was a big crash. I mean, if we get 14th on our opening Grand Prix, despite having spun and been involved in some weird shenanigans at the start of the race, then that'd probably be okay. That would probably be okay. It's a shame that if there is damage, it doesn't seem to be turned on in this career mode, because we were involved in 2 fairly hefty shunts and our car is perfectly okay. I do know that there is weather in this game. In one of the super license tests tutorial bits that come up, one thing did involve driving around in the rain. So yeah, there is weather, and it was quite impressively done. It was, yeah, you certainly noticed that it was damp, and I even think it might just be me not being used to the controls, but you got a little bit of aquaplaning if you've managed to find one of the puddles and so on. Again, some of these old games, while graphically speaking it looks quite dated, they could actually have quite a lot of little details in them, which is, yeah, always nice. I'm going to do exactly the same thing again on that curb. Ugh, I am an idiot. Basically, in case you hadn't already realised, I am an idiot. And then we will slow down for this penultimate corner one more time, and then we should be flat around this final turn. Oh no, we've got one more lap, sorry. Ignore me. Oh, I think somebody's blowing up. I'm okay with that. If somebody wants to blow up, especially if they're ahead of me, that would be okay. I think we have actually got the gap down to bad. I'm not sure who bad is. Yeah, I probably should remember, but there we go. I think we have closed up quite a lot. Don't know. Oh, okay, so there was a broken down car over there. That's what that flag was for. There's flags appearing. Oh, we've caught up to someone else's poorly. We're making up. many positions. I think that was Panis we just got past with an ailing car. Come on, we can get bad before the end of the lap. Maybe his exploding engines will occur. I'm not sure that's quite the way around that sentence went, but it doesn't matter. There is hope again. There is hope for an 11th place. It's still going to be outside the points because I'm fairly sure the points only went down to 10th. Back here, in fact, I think the points usually go to like 8th or something. I don't know what point it changed to 10. Okay, I don't know my F1 history all that well, I will be honest. We're going to run out of laps, aren't we? If we hadn't had that spin, we could have potentially got 11th. Who knows? Maybe we could have even got further up the field. Come on, anybody's engine wants to do the decent thing and explode around these final couple of corners. Oh, come on, Benetton, we can make it. It's a better finish than expected by me and probably by most of you after seeing the start of that race.
You finished 12th. That's more like it.
It's not bad. I got down to a 127 during the race, so you know I'm okay with that in some in some ways. Badoa, that's who it, I believe, would be there. Villeneuve was the car that blew up, but Panis was certainly unhappy towards the end of all of that. Where did Fisichella come? Where did my teammate end up? We beat our teammate, which is the important thing in all of this. He ended up 20th. I don't know what happened to his car. Something bad must have taken place. There's only 6 drivers in this that would get points. Ooh, okay. Damn, this it was tough. Yeah, we were a very, very long way outside of the points. Very long way outside of the points. McLaren lead the way from Jordan in 2nd. Ferrari in 3rd. Williams in 4th. Yeah, that'd be damn difficult to get many points for the smaller teams. But yeah, that was a look at F1 Career Challenge. It's an interesting trip down memory lane, and while there doesn't seem to quite be the settings that I wanted in the career mode as of yet. Oh, and that is going on with your neck, my friend. And I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what's going on with everybody. Okay, the character models are a little bit terrifying. Let's not ask too many questions about that. Definitely, let's not ask too many questions about all of that, but there we go. My reputation has increased dramatically due to your excellent showing the last weekend. Fantastic. And then we've got some points. Points can be spent down here. You can go and get sort of alternate helmets. You can have like a specific evening race. You can get upgrades to your engine, big upgrades to the engines or to the brakes and so on. So it's kind of a different way of doing it. You have an invulnerable car if you want, but it's like a different way of doing upgrading to recent Formula 1 games, but it's an interesting thing. I think these are single-use items rather than kind of like a tech tree, so you can get a perfect pit stop, so I guess you don't have to do anything, but you'll spend 30 points and so on. Yeah, it's a different way of doing things, but there we go. I am just going to very, very quickly, if we just back out, have a look at quick race, because I did see some settings. So we'll go 2001. Sure, we'll go 2001. So we've got, yeah, again, all of the different drivers and the different teams and so on. We've got, yeah, we've still got Prost, European, Minardi, Arrows, Jaguar here. Or just grab a Jaguar. Just for the sake of argument, let's go. Where was that? I don't recognise. Well, I probably do recognise that circuit. Was that Nürburgring, isn't it? Of course, just a slightly dodgy map. Yeah, it will be Nürburgring. Sure, let's grab A1 ring. So we have got difficulty down here. Ah, there is a damage setting. Right, I think in the career mode, because I was at the don't know what game breakers are, but sure, let's stick that on. I think because in the career mode, being a game about the career challenge going through multiple eras and so on, perhaps it doesn't turn on until later or something. There might be a setting that I've missed somewhere in one of these menus. As far as I'm aware, there hasn't been. If we go into here, there isn't an option for that sort of thing. We can configure the controller, but we can't set stuff. So yeah. Kind of a shame about that, but it does look like sort of damage and so on could be quite interesting with all of this, and especially with actual mechanical failures. We saw a car with a blown engine, and that is probably something that can happen to... It wouldn't surprise me if it was something that could happen to the player. It's a kind of important part of racing. Sometimes things go wrong with your cars. Either way, yeah, an interesting trip down memory lane with with this one. I might do some more of this game on streams at some point if enough people are interested in seeing me, kind of progress my way more through some old Formula One games. I do have a more up to. I have a PS3 F1. God, I think it was F1 Career Challenge. Something with a similar name on PS3 as well that I've been meaning to get around to taking a look at. That's kind of Alonso in Renault era. So yeah, we'll probably go and do that one as well. That though is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.